Families, just checking in with you guys. What's going on with y'all? Hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. Well, actually, it's crazy how fast time is going because the weekend is already almost here again, huh? Like time is just flying. It's crazy. Um, that's why it's so important where we put our time. It's mad important where we put our time because time is a flying. Can we all agree with that? All right, all right. Well, I just wanted to jump in real quickly, guys. Didn't hop on last week. Things got a little, you know, hectic with time and everything. So here I am this week, and I just wanted to touch on a topic. Basically, well, actually, we're on a series that I was continuing on. We're touching on the fruits of the spirit, and I wanted to. Well, actually, before I go any further, um, if you guys can go ahead and smash that like button as you come in, as you enter in, smash that like button so we can get this pushed through the algorithm. Because I feel like more people need to be aware and they need to hear certain things like this. So if you could go ahead and smash that like button, um, and yeah, that'll help me greatly. And I got more stuff on the way that'll be an eye opener and ear opener to everybody else. Okay. Um, yeah. So once again, I just want to get into speaking about. Well, today I want to talk about patience, right? I want to talk about a little bit of patience. I feel like patience is a super important key to have um, in general. Not a lot of us have it, I had to train myself up on it because people will test you. Unfortunately, people will test you. We know that. We know that people will test you, and it's important that we just train ourselves up, in certain ways. And patience is just one of them. All right, patience is one of them. It's an important trait because it is a trait that it shows your character. Patience shows your character, shows who you are as a person. Patience actually gets you far in life, believe it or not. Not a lot of people exercise their patience, and I feel like it's definitely a category that we should exercise more. You know, Must I go into detail with people who have road rage and things of that nature, um, or anything of that nature, where basically there's a lot of situations that could be avoided had that person had a little bit more patience. See what I'm trying to say? So these are little things that can not only save other people's lives and make a big change and difference, but it can save your life too, our lives. So, and patience is a big one. So without further ado, you like my little bell? Oh wait, it ain't belling right now. Hold on, my bell ain't belling. There it is. Class is in session. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Talk about a little bit of patience. All right, so now if I were to start with the word patience, right? Let's talk about patience. If I were to ask you, what would you like? Basically, what? Why? No, let me not ask what patience is. We all know what patience. We know what patience is. Let me ask this instead. Why is patience important? Let me ask that one instead. Why is patience important? So if I were to ask you that, just think about it to yourself, right? Think about it to yourself. If you want to type it out, you can type it out. But I really just want you to think about it, right? Ask yourself, why is patience important? And ask yourself that question mentally. Write it out if you would like. That's fine too. But I just want you to, you know, think about it first. Think about it. Ask yourself, why is patience important? Like I said, if you would like to write it out, Go ahead and leave a little sentence explaining why you feel like patience is important. I want you to ask yourself that question. I want everybody to just kind of like ponder on it. Think about it. Why is patience important? All right. I'll give you a few seconds to think about it. Think about it. Type it out. Whatever you like to do. The floor is yours. Why is patience important? I'll give you a few seconds. Do 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 ring bow boom 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 boom. All right, that was my waiting song. All right. So let's get into it real quick about why patience is important, right? Now, I mean, I'm sure everybody has their own um, understandings and meanings as to why patience is important, right? We all understand that patience is a virtue. Patience is a character trait that not a lot of people have, that not a lot of people uh, choose to have, not a lot of people and we also see that patience, it can define, it can basically dispel and define uh, the direction in which our life goes. People don't realize it though, right? Um, for example, patience can either take away from if we're impatient, or patience can extend and open up doors and opportunities into our lives if we have more patience. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying, blood? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, if you have more patience, um, you can get more doors and opportunities opened up to you. Um, Jobs, businesses, things of that nature. Opportunities can be more available to you with more patience. If people are more impatient, you can lose more jobs and opportunities and business, uh, you know, any ideas of that nature. Um, that's just on the business side of it. It goes further than that. It goes with our own lives. Um, like I said prior, uh, patience and impatience can, yeah, it can take away our own lives. It's sad. It's actually sad how they're so. I mean, I'm sure everyone listening to this right now, you can think of a story. Like I'm sure, I'm almost positive everybody listening to this right now can think of a story, whether it's your own or a story of another person who basically they, yeah, maybe they lost their life off of being impatient, things of that nature. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, it really just, I don't think that has anything to do with patience. But okay, that's very very funny. I need to bear what in your beard routine? Oh, fantastic outfit. You only see my shirt. Yeah, it's very. I think it's very. It's very funny how the devil's people are so more like energetic than the positive people if you think about it. Isn't that a funny attribute? Like evil people in this world are more open and like at your face than people who are more positive. It just shows the kind of world and the condition of the world that we're in. And like I guess you can kind of say like evil people are more like confident. I don't know if it's confidence though. I don't know if I would want to call it confidence because I feel like evil people suffer through more with insecurities. I feel like they suffer with more insecurities than good people. Good people, we're good. We're not insecure. We don't have to down talk other people just to feel good about ourselves. We look to uplift others. So it's just weird how people, I don't know, people are funny like that. I find it humorous. I always laugh about it. That's how I look at it. Y'all be funny, bruh. But anyways, bruh. So, like I said, patience. Um, Actually, another good example with patience, right? Um, that's how you hear a lot of stories of people taking their own lives. You know, when people they go through life, right? They go through life and they go through a certain situation in life that they finally can't take it, and then what do they end up doing and saying, oh, I can't do this anymore, I can't take it. They end up taking their own lives. That's why you have a lot of situations where people take their own lives because they lack patience. The more patience you have, the more fulfilling you will feel to be able to get through the hardships of life. That's why it's so important to exercise patience. You know, something that not a lot of people, you know, and it's not a lot of our faults that we haven't been exercising patience, because a lot of people, we weren't trained up. Oh, T T2D. Hey, T2D, what it is, you already know. See, they go up, my positive boy right there. We don't entertain negativity. You feel me? We only entertain, our real ones. No offense to the negative folk, cause listen, when we're in the world, we're lost. When we're in the world, we are lost. That's all I gotta say. Cause, I mean, I was in the world, so that's how I understand where certain people coming from. When you, I mean, obviously there's levels to it. Some people are more lost than others, and we can only pray for them that they come out of the dark and enter into the light at some point in their life. You get what I'm trying to say? Because it's a really lonely and um sad place to be all of your life, to be real with you, like to be like in a depressed state all of your life. Because really, when people are like so negative and like just negative in their mindset all the time like that, that's really what it means. It means like they're depressed, they're just like plundered. They're just bombarded in depression. They're just overwhelmed in that. They're in that what I'm trying to say, like they're overwhelmed in that category. So we can only pray that they come out of that. You feel me? Like, we've all been in it. We all, as we age, hopefully, I can't say all of us, hopefully as we age, we only trying to get better in life, not worse. We trying to come out of the dark and come into the light as we age. You know what I'm trying to say? Like I said, you guys smash that like button. If you guys, coming in, smash that like button so we can get this word out on the algorithm. As you come into, feel free to press that subscribe button. Get those numbers up. Get these words out to the folk. We're talking about patience today. I want to talk about a little bit about patience, 'cause I feel like we need it. We need it. Everybody needs it. Everybody needs it. All right. Um, and we understand how patience is important, right? You know, um, I can speak about my own personal experiences, how patience is important. Um, so, how do I even start? All right, so I understand, like myself, I'm not gonna put anybody under the bus. Um, and I understand that not a lot of us have been taught patience. A lot of us haven't even been taught by parents, that nature. We had to learn a lot of these things on our own in life. You feel me? And it's hard. It's way harder when you have to like go through life on your own to learn these things. Smash that like button, you guys, so I can get this on the algorithm. Smash that like button as you come in, and also hit that subscribe button. But like I said, like a lot of us, um, we had to learn a lot of these things going on through life. Patience, anything, anything to build us up. A lot of us didn't learn these things through a parent figure, you know, or anything of that nature. A lot of us, we had to learn these things. Some of us, we didn't even get to learn them. If you get what I'm trying to say, we still didn't even get to learn them. Some of us has to learn on our own. And when we're stuck in a situation like that, that's when it's really really tough. It's really really it's hard. It's much harder because you're stuck in a situation. A lot of people mistake it with waiting. Yeah, they do. A lot of people do mistake it with waiting for sure. You know, I like that. I like that comment actually. I like that comment a lot. They do mistake it with waiting, and patience and waiting, though they do like intersect and intertwine with one another because it's nearly generally the same thing. But the difference between patience and waiting is with patience, you're not only are you building yourself at the same time, but you're waiting for an expected end. You know what I'm trying to say? Waiting is more of just like you don't know if there's anything on the opposite on the other side of that. But patience is okay. You're more expecting of the whatever it is on the other side of it, and like I said, not only is it building you up, but you know there's end result to it. You're not just waiting for nothing. There are people that will wait for nothing. Now that I would not encourage. I won't encourage anybody to just wait for nothing because that's also not going to get you nowhere. You know, there are certain situations where I know a lot of people, you know, I've done it myself. You know, for example, with that, I like the fact you brought that up so I can give you an example. For example, um, back in my younger days, you know, there was this girl that I liked, right? Let's talk about it. I normally don't talk about my past in certain areas, but I'm gonna talk about it with y'all real quick. There's a girl that I liked. Now, I mean, and I'm sure a lot of us have similar situations like this where you have somebody that you might have liked or anything like that, and you chose to like wait on them, thinking that things gonna turn around at some point. Now, like I said, there's a difference between patience and waiting, and I was waiting. You know, a lot of us we wait in situations like that because we're waiting because we think that that person's gonna turn around and like us back, and a lot of times that's not the case, and we find that to be how it is. So that's where I would encourage people not to do, is not to sit there and wait, because you don't know, one, you don't know if the outcome is truly going to work in your favor. Um, and two, yeah, it may just very much so backfire. You just sat there waiting, who knows how long. A lot of us wait days, months, weeks, years, you know, um, for a situation like that to turn around. And yeah, it depends on how much you like the person and all that, but that stuff happens, and we just ended up waiting, not being patient, but waiting, and that like I said, it ain't, you must continue to work towards your goal and have patience through the process. I love that. Absolutely. You must continue to work. Yep. I like that a lot actually. And waiting is just sitting around hoping for a miracle. 100% T2D. Yep. Exactly. Waiting is just sitting around hoping for a miracle to happen. I like that. Correct. You just hopeful, and it's not. It's not to take away from people from being hopeful. Being hopeful is always a good thing, but you want to make sure that, because there are times where we're being hopeful in the right direction, and also you can be hopeful in the wrong direction too, not realize it. When we're so clouded, we're not thinking straight. Hey, T2D. Hey, I like you, my G. Shoot me a follow. Yeah, shoot me a follow, and we'll chat it up. We'll chat it up. I like the way you think, by the way. Um, Shoot me a follow. We'll chat it up. Let me see. Let me see. So, yeah, just like my boy just said, there's waiting, and actually, one good solid point that he just said was, when you are being patient, build yourself up in the process. I like that. It's true. You want to build yourself up in the process. You don't want to just be stuck not doing anything. You want to kind of keep yourself in motion, keep yourself busy, keep yourself going, building. versus just sitting there waiting and rotting away. You don't know. There was a saying that said basically like if you're not growing and you're just staying still, you're you're innocent. You're innocent in a sense, like dying. So if you're not progressing, you're just staying still. You're dying. People think that staying still is like you're safe. No, you're not safe if you're staying still. We're not, as humans, we're not made to stay still. We're made to grow and build. That's what a lot of people don't realize. That's why when it comes to, like, for example, the idea of good and evil in the world, right? You got to pick a side. You got to be more on the good side or you got to be more on the evil side. But if you choose to be in the middle, like you want to act like you ain't got nothing to do with it, you're gonna slowly fade away and cripple and all that because you got to pick a side. You know, I'm trying to say, like, you can't, if you stay in the middle, you're not growing. It means you're not growing. It means you're not willing to grow and build and, you know, anything on that side and that nature. That means you're only gonna rot where you are. Not to like say it in a way where I want it to happen to you. Of course not. I want everybody to grow and build. You feel me? But if you're staying still in life, that's going to cause you to rot. It's going to cause you to go backwards. You think you staying still is safe? No. Us as human beings, we're not made to stand still and stay still. We're made to progress. Ask your favorite artist that. If you got an artist that you like, ask them. That's why they're an artist to begin with, because they chose to keep on the grind, keep on the work, keep grinding, keep putting music out, keep growing. Like that's what that comes with. You know, growth, progression. You know, if you, for example, some of these big name artists that we all know have known of, you know, Juice World or X, you know, X and all these names, and even though they're no longer here, what I got a question for you. Would they have made their titles, or would you have even known them if they only put out one song? No. See? If they put out just one song and they just kind of like just sat there and didn't do anything else, would you have known them? No. It's a primary example right there. It doesn't matter. Michael Jackson. It doesn't matter what the name of the artist is. It doesn't matter the biggest of the artists. It doesn't matter who they were, who they are. If they only put out one song, you wouldn't have known them. They keep putting out songs, keep growing, keep building, and then eventually, guess what? They released the songs that they've released. They released the songs that you've known them for, and they've reached the level of success that they've reached. Right? That's just how it works. We're not meant to stand still, to stay still. We're meant to grow. All right. And once again we do see, like I said, we see how patience, it affects our world. How many of you guys, and I know I can't see you right now, but as you're watching, raise your hands if you agree that had we have more patience in this world will be so much more of a better place. I want you to raise your hands if you feel like had everyone on this planet had more patience, this world will be a way better place. I'll raise my hands real quick for that one, boy, because there's a lot of people that ain't got no patience in this world. I'll be like, for example, you ever like sit at a light, right? You're at a red light. Other cars are there too, waiting for the light to change. And the moment, I know you guys know where I'm going with this too. The moment that light goes from red to green, you got somebody in the crowd, that one or two or whatever amount of people, you won't even wait a second. It's like I'm sure some of y'all probably sit there counted it too. For like, y'all probably been in a situation like that. I'm sure everybody been in a situation like that. I hope y'all wasn't one of the people that did it. We got to work on our patience, but it hasn't even hit a second yet. It's like maybe like a half a second, a millisecond, not even a full second. We know how fast a second is. Count to a second. One. That's a second. Tell me how, when you're sitting at a light and then the light is red and it goes from red to green within about half a second, someone already honking their horn, telling you to go. What does that tell you? That tells you that we lack a lot of patience. That means we have no patience. If you can't wait even a second or two, something's wrong with you. I'm sorry. I gotta say, I'm the kind of person I say it straight up. Like, I ain't no sugarcoat. I ain't no sugarcoat baby. Nah, I ain't no sugarcoat person, man. I tell you straight up how it is, man. If you ain't got no like that, you're one of the people that you honk instantly, you can't even wait a second or two when the light change from red to green, that means you got to work on your patience. Just being real. You got some patience to work on. If you can't wait a second or two, you can't tell me you got patience. Cause always I'm always looking out for moments like that. That one little thing, I'm always looking out for situations and moments like that where people quickly honk. When the light just turned green. I'm like, dang, like they could have been like five, four, 8 cars down the road and they honk. I'm like, bro, you couldn't wait. Like, matter of fact, when people do that, I like to like kind of like look to the side. At least if they're close enough and I know it was them, I like to look at them and be like, bro, like, you good? Like, are you really, really good? I don't know. But anywho, we definitely see why patience is important. We see how patience it affects the world. We see how it impacts the world. I'm sure 90% plus of us on here can agree. I mean, I can hope that it's 90%. Because if it's under 90, then we got another issue there too. But I can only hope that 90+% of us can agree that had we have more patience in this world, that this world would be a way better place. Like I said, right? If you agree, put your hands up. If you don't agree, I'm just gonna stay. I'm gonna stay silent for you. I'm gonna stay silent for you. I ain't got nothing to say to you. All right. We gonna pray for you though. That's what I will say. All right. Um. And yeah, we just understand that we do need more patience in this world. We know that we need to exercise more patience. Like I said before, I understand that not a lot of us have been taught patience. A lot of us have had to learn a lot of things in our lives on our own. We have to learn the walk through life on our own, and of course, that's not fair for a lot of us when we have to, learn the hard way on our own. It's a pretty dark world, gruesome on that. Um, when we don't have anybody guiding us, because then that's when we learn the hard way. And honestly, to be honest with you, that's one of the reasons why I'm even doing this. I don't have to do this, but I want to do this because I want you guys to. I want to be a guiding force. I want to be that person that um, helps you dodge maybe that hole in the ground that I probably fell into, kind of thing. I'm trying to say, like, I want to yeah, like put y'all on game, so that way you can have somebody to guide you through the issues of life. You know, I've always wanted that wholeheartedly. I've always wanted that myself, and didn't fully get that. So I want to be that for somebody else, for you. You know, and that's just why I'm here. That's why I'm here even doing this. All right. I want to see what I can do to help you to get through life way easier. Cause like, man, like I said, like, had I had more patience on a lot of different things, I definitely would have dodged a lot of bullets, to say the least. Um, I would have dodged a lot of bullets. All right. And that's why I'm, like I said, that's why I'm sitting here doing, speaking on the subject, because I want you guys to dodge the bullets too. All right, I want you guys to dodge the bullets. I do. Now, if I were to give you guys a few pointers as to why patience is important, it would go a little something like this, right? Now, why is patience also important, right? Now, patience, it improves our judgment. All right, it improves our judgment and our problem solving. All right, it improves our judgment, our problem solving. Um, this is a very important area and category, where, once again, like I said before, it could help us avoid and dodge so many red flags, so many holes in the ground. Oh man, like I said, like I just talking about it, I can just think back upon a few things that I felt I could have saved myself a lot of time. I could have been a lot further in life, type deal. Um, had I been more patient, and instead of being so like hot-headed and quick about things, just being just chill. I can't even say the word. Being more chillaxing. Um, certain things, and like I said, I'm here to help y'all dodge the bullets that I got hit with. I'm like that person. I'm like that shield that y'all could use right now. Like, just somebody shooting at you. I got you. I'm like a little shield right now for y'all. Talking about patience. So, um, and it also improves our judgment, right? Patience. Shalom, brother. Shalom, brother. How you doing? Um, Good, brother. I see you. I see you. And it improves our judgment. And I feel like having patience, oh man, and having patience and improving our judgment definitely goes hand in hand together. I feel like you know, that's really one of the greatest foundations in us moving in this life. Where it comes from is our judgment. If you think about it, I'm sure you can think about it right now, is our judgment. Um, it can either make or break us. It definitely, our character is formed from it. Not only is our character formed from it, but it also helps to direct and form our pathway in life. You know, it all works together. It improves our judgment. It's like when you make certain judgments on certain things, right? It can either guide you for the better or for the worse. You know, a lot of people make decisions that were harsh decisions, and it definitely takes away from their life. Where had we had more patience and better judgment skills in certain areas, then we could have dodged a lot of bullets. I'm sure as I'm saying this, you can probably like literally like think back on certain things that probably went bad in your own life. Like, dang, like he's right. Like, Had I had a better judgment, had more patience in this area, then I would have had a better outcome. you know? And that's all of us. We've all been in a situation like that. So patience definitely improves our judgment. The more patience we have, the better our judgment. It's just that simple. But if we don't have patience, like I said, then that stuff can come back around and knock you on, knock you down. It can knock you down, knock you down. Pop, pop. We don't want that now, do we? All right. Um, let's talk about another important point as to why patience is important. Patience, as you guys coming in, go ahead and smash that like button. Smash that like button. Get this on the algorithm. Help a boy out. Be getting this on the algorithm. And feel free to subscribe. Another important point why patience is important is that it also helps us strengthen our relationships. Having more patience can definitely strengthen our relationships. Why do I say that? Because not only does it form, let me say it like this instead. Not only does it allow people to see, it allows people to see that you have patience. That means they can trust you more. They lean on you and your judgment more. They can see, okay, this person is solid. I can trust this person. Like, they're patient with it. They're not like hot-headed and always on the move and on the run. Like, you can actually believe this person, trust this person, you know? But once again, having patience can strengthen your relationships because people can rely on you much better that way. It improves your judgment. Guess what? If your judgment is more improved, then doesn't that mean those that are closest to you, they know to trust you? One who practices patience has virtue. Yes, my boy. Yes. 100%. Patience is a virtue. Yep. 100%. Exactly. And it's definitely something to be practiced. Like you said, like it's something to be. You know. Um. It's nothing to really learn overnight. It's something you got to practice. You know, you, I, I wouldn't say that we we learn this stuff overnight. It's something you definitely gotta gradually get into. If you had someone that you, well, that's actually that's why I'm doing this, because if you had someone that you listen to that kind of like speaks to you on certain matters like this, then it only helps you like walk through life way smoother. Get through, the troubles of life way smoother. Any issues of certain issues in life, if you had someone in your ear kind of like guiding you through it and speaking to you about certain topics, you'd be able to get through certain topics way smoother, way easier. You'll get through it way faster. You'll learn it way faster versus having to learn these things on your own. But it is important that nonetheless, whether you have somebody that is influencing you on the matter or not, we still got to practice these things because we gotta grow. Staying still is not an option. You gotta practice patience. You gotta practice it. It's gonna build you up as a person. And if you're watching this, I want you to be a better person. I want you to be a better person today than you were yesterday, than you were last week, than you were a few weeks ago, than you were last year. We growing. All right. Now, like I said, it strengthens relationships. Patience strengthens relationships. Another point I want to give you about patience. Why is patience important? Patience, it helps. Notification. Patience, it helps us to achieve long. Patience, it helps us to achieve long-term goals. That's another important point as to why patience is important. It helps us to achieve long-term goals. Now, a lot of times, if you ever see people can't hang and they can't stay in the game, a lot of the times it's because they lack patience. You can tell a lot of the times. Matter of fact, let me say it like this. You can tell the people who are considered legends, whether it could be in any field, whether it's in basketball, whether it's in music, singing, rapping, things of that nature, all the above. You can tell who, what it is, Christina, what it is. You can tell those who, um, well, actually, let me say it like this too. You can see why they are considered legends in their field, in their craft. Why do I say that? Because in order to get to that point, you got to have patience. In order to get to that point, you got to have patience. None of these people who've reached the perfection of legend in their craft, the title legend in their craft, none of them have gotten to this point without patience. It took what it is, Demi. I see what it is. Good to see you. Good to hear from you. It takes patience to to get to the top. It takes patience to get far, long term, to achieve long term goals. No one's gonna achieve anything if you lack patience. You're not gonna I'm sorry, it's not gonna happen. You gotta put time into things. You gotta dedicate. I know it was you. That's why I already said it. But you gotta put time into your craft. You gotta put time into your craft and practice patience to get to the level that you're trying to get to. No one has ever reached that legend category without patience. It takes patience. Patience is one of the fruits of the keys that you will need to reach that level. See, this is something they probably won't teach you in school. They won't tell you that though. Now would they? They'll tell you, just go to school, get your money, da da da, and then go get a job. Go to school to get a job. But they won't tell you the details of everything too. See, I ain't like that. I'm gonna be real with you. I ain't like school. I ain't like school for a reason. God just knew that I had a different calling. That He knew that I was supposed to give it to you raw, like give you the details in depth, how it's supposed to actually get done. And one of the keys is patience. You're not going to reach anywhere without patience. People who lack patience, I don't know what to tell you. You gotta grow some patience. All right. I've watched I've seen a few videos. I'm sure some of you have too. For example, like Kobe Bryant, right? And you would hear how how a lot of the times where he would hear from friends and things like that. Oh, hey, let's go out, let's go do this and that. What would he do? You would hear sometimes in those stories that he would, instead of going out, you would hear a lot of stories that he would instead put that time into more practicing on the court by himself, like in secret. He'll be practicing his crafts, getting better and getting better and getting better. Look at how good he is because of that. He was well known because of that. Jordan, he was another one. Back in high school, they ain't even want him on one of his teams. But guess what? Fast forward at some point, because because of the fact that it hit him that, I guess it struck a nerve. A lot of times like that, when people don't want you, it makes you tighten up. It makes you get serious. Like, okay, let me just get serious. Let me tighten up. That's what happened with Jordan. Nobody wanted him in high school. He didn't make the team. So after that, he came back. He was working hard. I mean, behind closed doors, came back one of the greatest basketball players. You know, so you can see how effective patience is. Like you need to build in the background in order to get to certain points. All right. So all that honking at the red light, as soon as the light turns green, within point millisecond of a second, y'all gotta chill with that. All right. Um, Another point I want to go over about patience. Patience, it enhances our well-being and happiness. I think that's a given when you're patient. Good things come from people from sorry, good things come to people who are patient, right? Good things come to people who are patient. And if you're not as patient, then you probably won't get as much as good because you're not as patient. You gotta be willing to wait a little bit sometimes, you know? Um, Patience, yeah, good. That's what I was gonna say. I was thinking about how it said it goes, good things come to people who wait. Remember that? Good things come to people who wait. And that still runs, it still flies. Exactly like it says. Good things come to people who wait. If you're not willing to wait, yeah, it kind of can't be helped in that area, right? All right. Now, like I said, that's a given. Another point why patience is important. I'm sure some of you guys are having a kick out of this. Um, Another reason why I want to say patience is important is well, actually it also does help with the mental health too. I forgot that point. That's a part of the happiness. Patience, it does help with our mental health as well. Believe it or not, patience does help with our mental health. A lot of people are mentally ill because they choose to be impatient, and it's sad. Um, I'll actually give you guys one more point as to why patience is important, right? I'll give you one more point. Patience is important because it increases resilience. Um, like basically you're better equipped to bounce back from failures with a positive outlook. That's one of my favorite things with patience is that it increases your resilience. Say for example, something bad happens in our life. Of course, a lot of things happen to a lot of us. When you're more patient, the bounce back is real. You're able to weather the storm better than people who are not impatient. Than people who are impatient. When that's why you hear, for example, when people, like I said prior, I set this example already. When you hear stories of people who, they go through situations in life, right? And they just go like, "Oh, I'm gonna take my life. I can't take this life anymore," and they go and take their own lives and things like that. Why do you think that is? Because they can't handle the bounce back. The bounce back is not for them. Maybe because they chose to be in nearly the entire life. They chose to be impatient, and then and that's just what it is. It's like you gotta. It's everything in life is just like in a sense kind of like sports. In order to get good in the field in front of everyone else, when life gets hard, you got to practice in the gym. You got to practice when people aren't watching. That's what's going to determine how good you are and how strong you stand in those moments. When people aren't watching, what are you doing? When people, are, you before you reach that point, what are you doing beforehand? That's what's going to determine how strong you stand when a storm comes. That's going to determine if you make the NBA Finals or not. That's going to determine if you make the playoffs. Yeah. So, like I said, it helps us in our bounce back. The more patient you are, and that's why I said it's good to practice patience. Practice patience even now as you listen to this. Practice being patient. Hold the door open for somebody. You see somebody walking behind you, maybe like, I don't know, about 5 feet away. I ain't saying like wait like 10 plus, 20 plus feet where you see they're so far behind. But if you see somebody that's kind of not too far behind you and you're ahead of them, why don't you wait a little bit for them? Open the door. Open the door. Wait for them to catch up. That's practicing patience by itself. Practice makes perfect. And you'll surprise yourself where you are a few weeks from now, or from now, a few weeks, few months. You'll see the progress, the progression that you've made, your build up. I promise, it's gonna be a good one. And you'll find yourselves in situations where you'll be like, man, like I handled that well. I'm telling you, the bounce back is a real. All right, guys. Well, I got that was my last point. I do have some verses. I want to go over some verses with you. That speaks about patience. I feel like a lot of people, they don't know what God says about patience, right? And I think what God says is important. Let me get that. Hold on. Okay. So let me just go over some scriptures with y'all real quick that talks about patience. It might for some of us it might strike a nerve, for some of us it might hit a key like bing, that it might be like that one thing that you needed to get over on a certain, I'm trying to say, like it might have been that one thing you needed to hear kind of thing. So let's get into it. All right. So I got a Proverbs 15 verse 18. Proverbs 15 verse 18. And this says, hot temper causes argument, but patience brings peace. I'm sure a lot of us can think back on either ourselves or another person that had they had a little bit more patience, and in that time frame, they probably would have avoided maybe like an argument, a fight, maybe even sparing their own lives, things of that nature. Like that's when patience come in clutch the most. That little ounce of patience can get you far. All right, I got another verse for you. Exodus 14:14. The Lord will fight for you. You only need to be still and hold your peace. That's you practicing patience. That's you practicing patience, letting God fight your battles for you. All right. I got a Proverbs 14, verse 29. Proverbs 14, verse 29. This goes and says, whoever is patient has great understanding, but one who is quick-tempered displays folly. I don't think y'all heard that one. I'm gonna repeat it for y'all who are impatient. I'm gonna repeat it. Repeat it. Proverbs 14, verse 29. What does it say? It says, whoever is patient has great understanding. But, I'm gonna sing that one. But, and I can't even sing. One who is quick-tempered displays folly. Displays folly. I said folly, but that's because I'm excited. Folly. I ain't saying this. God is saying this. Scripture is saying this. It's telling you where you stand. The more patience you have, the more understanding you have. The more impatient you are, the more folly you are. I don't think you want to be called that, but I ain't calling you that. God's calling you that. So take it up to him if you got a problem with being called folly. All right. All right, I got another one for you. Proverbs 16:32. Proverbs 16 verse 32, and this says, better to be patient than a warrior, and better have self-control than to capture a city. Oh man, that's a strong and powerful one. I don't think you guys understood that one. I'm gonna repeat that one again so you can kind of catch it better. Proverbs 16 verse 32 says, better to be patient than a warrior, and better have self-control than to capture a city. That means, you know how a lot of people want to be like a warrior, and you want to be like, you know, someone just capturing a city. That's basically saying how great you are compared to a warrior. Something that goes over a lot of people's heads. It's telling you that a person who's more patient is greater than a warrior. That's what it's saying. You know, we've been lied to in a lot of fairy tale and fables, like, oh, warriors, this and that. You know, it's great to capture cities and things of that nature, but it's really in the small, simplest things that get us further in life, like being patient. Trying to tell you the things the devil don't want you to know. Trying to tell you. All right, I got another one. I got another one for you. I got a Romans 12 verse 12, chapter 12 verse 12. Romans chapter 12 verse 12. And this goes, be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. So it's basically saying, increase being joyful and in hope. Be joyful and in hope, and increase those things, right? It's saying to also increase your prayers, be faithful and increase your prayers. But the one thing it told you to decrease is affliction. But be patient in affliction. That means, you know how we're so quick to want to attack somebody, or be quick to want to say something negative, or be quick to want to, fight somebody. It says to be slower in that. Decrease that part. All right. I got another verse for you. Yeah, I'm gonna load you up. I'm gonna load your your spiritual gun up with some verses for that, you know, for the devil and his little minions. I got a Psalms 37 verse 7 through 9. Psalms 37 verse 7 through 9. What does it say? It says, "Be still, be still before the Lord, and wait patiently for him. Fret not yourself over the one who prospers in his way, over the man who carries out evil devices. Refrain from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not yourself, it tends only to evil, for the evildoer shall be cut off. But those who wait for the Lord shall inherit the land." So what this is saying is, if you see, basically, don't be jealous, or don't look on. Don't, if you see somebody like, you know, they're showboating on, you know, on social media, or they're doing certain things to show that they're at a certain point in life, don't look at what they got going on to feel like you want what they got, because you don't know how they even got it. They could have got it in an evil manner, in an evil way. And God's saying, don't lean on that. Don't look at that, because you don't know how they got it. They could have gotten it. They could have gotten it in an evil way. Right? You don't want to, you know, you want to waste your time on certain people if they didn't even get it. You don't even want to waste your time if they got it the right way. Focus on yourself, focus on God, and guess what? You're going to get in your own lane. You're gonna make it where he wants to go, where you're supposed to get. That's just what it is. Focus. You will inherit the land if you focus. Alright? I got Ephesians chapter 4 verse 2. Ephesians chapter 4 verse 2. What does it say? Ephesians chapter 4 verse 2 says, what it is, Zach? What's going on, family? I see you, my boy. Everybody give my boy Zach a shout out. Ephesians 4 verse 2. What does it say? It says, "Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient. Bear with one another in love." Ooh, I gotta repeat that one too. Blessings, bro. Blessings, bro. I gotta repeat that one too. You ready? Alright. Ephesians 4 verse 2. Because I don't think I heard that one. And I feel like a lot of us, we be struggling with this. It goes as follows. "Be completely humble and gentle." I'm going to say it slow for you. "Be patient, bearing with one another in love." What is it telling you? That means, you know, you got to be diligent in loving one another. You can't be hot-headed. You can't be thinking about yourself. You can't be selfish. You got to love another person as you love yourself. The same way you love yourself, you be doing whatever for yourself, be gentle to do that for another person as well. To be honest, if we had more people in this world that were like that, this world would be a way better place. This world would be a way better place. Where people would like, and that's exactly what, since the beginning of time, that's exactly what God wants us to do. Is to love him first and then love other people second to that. And life is actually that simple if you think about it. Because I had to generally like sit back and think about just how simple life really is and how life really could be. But it's really us as human beings that make life difficult, if you think about it. Life is really easy. Life ain't hard at all. You think it's hard? And a matter of fact, let me say it like this. Let me say it like this. When I said that, I thought about something. Why some people can be like, no, life is hard. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you something right now. Let me tell you why life is hard, right? I'm gonna debunk your thought right now. Life is hard because of the people who make it hard. Once again, who's in power right now? Is it God's people or the devil's people? I'm gonna give you a second to think about that. You see that, right? You see how the devil people are the ones that make life hard? Why do you think these bills are as high as they are? It's definitely not God people that's controlling the bills. You can tell that, right? Because if God's people were really truly controlling the bills, don't you think the bills would be way more affordable? But right now, the devil's people are in control of the land and the world. Whatever they got going on, they're in control. So they can do whatever they want. They're playing with the numbers. They're lying and saying, "Oh, because of this reason, we got to raise the bill." Man, get out of here. You're raising the bill because you want to raise the bill. Don't try to sugarcoat things. And that comes right back to this verse right here, where it says, "Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love." They're not doing that. They're not loving us like themselves. They're showing greed. They're showing hatred. They're only thinking about themselves. But that's cool, because God gets the final say. They really think they're gonna be in position. Me personally, I don't know about you guys. Me personally, I like to hold on to hope that one day things will change. That the powers to be will go from the evil people to the right, to the good people, to the power. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, there's gonna be a time when that happens. I'm sure as as you just heard that, you're probably like excited to hear that. You're shouting on the inside, and yeah, listen, I'm with it. I'm with it too. And I think it's gonna happen. I'm a strong believer in that, because we have a God, and people think that the devil and his people can trump God forever. But what they don't realize is God is only allowing these things to happen for a certain time period. You really think God is going to allow the devil to own the entire world forever? Come on, man. Think about that for a second. I don't think so. There's a lot of wicked people in the world, yeah, but guess what? God is allowing it to happen because he's allowing it to one, formulate his plan, and also to refine his people, to become who they're meant to be. It's like a, what do you call those people who be worksmen? They be making like swords and stuff. No, making golds. Yeah, there we go. The ones who be making golds. How do you think they make the golds? The purities of the golds. They clean it off, and then guess what? The impurities they rise to the surface. They keep it cleared off. The impurities rise to the surface. They clear it off. Impurities rise to the surface. They keep doing it until you can see your reflection. That's what we're facing in the world. God puts us through tribulations to mold us and to form us into the beings we're meant to be. To see these issues, a lot of people are waking up right now. A lot of people are waking up right now. A lot of people see the evil that's going on in the world, and they're waking up. Now, what they choose to do with it is up to them. You choose to either join the evil side, that's on you. I mean, I can only imagine anybody going up against God. Kudos to you, bro. I don't know what to tell you. You going up against God himself, so I don't know what to tell you. Or you choose to be on the good side. We know it's going to happen for us in the end. We're going to rejoice, and God's going to give us the worlds, or land, and everything of that nature. And then we have the third option, people who decide to stay in the middle ground, and they think that they're not going to have any part in the situation, which God is also against. He said he wants, because that's considered lukewarm. And we know what the Bible says about lukewarm people. He says that because you're neither hot or cold, he's going to spit you out of his mouth. That means he also wants no part to do with you, and you don't want that either. You don't want God to have no part of you. All right. Let me I got a few more verses I want to run through with you guys real quick, and then I'll wrap this up. Oh, don't forget, guys, hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. All right. Right now I'm live on both YouTube and Facebook. Hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. I'm live on YouTube and Facebook. Get this on the algorithm, because people need to see this. Trust me. I'm telling ya. All right. We got Galatians 6 verse 9. What does it say? All right. It says, "And let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up." I'll repeat that. Galatians 6 verse 9. It says, "And let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up." It's basically just letting you know, if you're doing good, keep doing good. All right? If you're doing good, keep doing good. Don't you might even feel weary, you might get tired, you might, get disappointed, you might get tired, feel down, and all the above. Trust me. This walk is not an easy walk a lot of the time, but guess what? To trick my mind, or to help you trick your mind too, what I like to tell myself is, as hard as things might get, just know you're sacrificing for a good thing, for the good outcome. Because guess what? Even if you're not sacrificing for the good, you're gonna go through, whether for good or for bad, you're gonna go through stuff. You're gonna, go through issues in life. It's just how life is set up. So wouldn't you rather sacrifice for good instead of sacrificing for bad? Wouldn't you rather get a good outcome out of it at the end of it all, versus just not, you know what I'm trying to say, like, and then when you don't sacrifice for good, and you're going through life struggling and all that, at the end of that is nothing or worse. So you rather struggle and sacrifice for what's good, so that way you do get that good outcome. All right. Like I said, I got a few more verses, a few more. I want to touch on a few more, and I'll let you guys go for the day. All right, I got a James 1 verse 4. James 1 verse 4, right? And what does it say? James 1 4 verse 4 says, "But let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing." But let patience have her perfect work, that ye may not be perfect, that ye may be perfect. Sorry about that. That ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. Give patience her time within you, or its time. I mean, they say her, but we're gonna say her. It. Give patience its time to work within you, because at the end of it all, you're only going to, I mean, who knows what you can accomplish, what you can reach. Who knows what you can reach once you reach your final level of perfectionism, in that area of patience. Like I said, look at some of the legends who were patient to build their craft in their field, the Michael Jordans, the Kobe Bryants. You see the outcome. That's what it's saying. Give it its time, and then you'll see what you come up with at the end of all that. All right. I got another verse. Ecclesiastes 7 verse 8. Ecclesiastes 7 chapter 7 verse 8, and this says, "The end of a matter is better than its beginning, and patience is better than pride." The end of a matter is better than its beginning, and patience is better than pride. All right. Basically saying that the ending of where you started, because you started, obviously, the ending is better. All right. The ending is going to be better than where you first started. And we all know, I'm laughing at this part because the devil himself, he fell from heaven because of pride. And this verse, this right here, it made me kind of chuckle because of that. I would normally say I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry to laugh at the devil. And this last part says, "And patience is better than pride." You see that? You see what happens when you have pride? God causes you to fall. But if you have patience, the sky is the limit. Or should I say the sky is not the limit? I was about to sing it too, but the sky is not the limit. You don't even know where you can take yourself if you have patience. You can go really, really far if you got patience. All right. I got two more. I got two more verses for you guys. Two more. And what I like about this is the fact that these last two verses are in my favorite books of the Bible. This is my favorite book of the Bible because it covers so much so well. All right. And this is Romans. The last two verses will be in Romans. I got Romans 15 verse 1. This is my favorite book of the Bible, by the way, in case anybody's wondering. Romans 15 verse 1. And this says, "We who are powerful need to be patient with the weakness of those who don't have power and not please ourselves." Oh man. I felt that one to the soul, to the spirit. I don't know if y'all felt that one, but I sure did. Woo! I'm gonna read it again. That was so good. All right, hold on. Let me get myself together. That was a good one. All right. Romans 15 verse 1 says, "We who are powerful need to be patient with the weakness of those who don't have power and not please ourselves." This is simply, my dog's eye. See, he picked it up real quick. You felt that. You felt that. Yeah, I knew I wasn't the only one. I knew somebody else was finna feel that. I knew somebody else was finna feel that. Cause really, if you think about it, you look at the world and the condition that we're in right now. The people who are in power right now, could you really say that they're following this? Nah, bruh. You can tell. You can just see like they not following it. They not following it, and it also tells you that if God were to put you in that power, it's telling you what His recommendations are, what He would expect out of you, out of anybody who has great power. He tells you straight up, we who are powerful need to be patient with the weakness of those who don't have power and not please ourselves. The way this world is set up right now, they're not doing that. They're pleasing themselves. They're not looking out for the weak. They're only taking from the poor. They're looking out for the rich. Must I say more? If you ain't feel that one, I don't know what to tell you. My dog Zach picked that one up though. Zach picked that one up. All right. I got one more. I got one more verse for you guys. And this, once again, this is also from Romans. Okay? Which is my favorite book in the Bible. Romans chapter 8, verse 25. What does it say? Romans 8, verse 25. It says, "But if we hope for what we do not see, we wait for it with patience." All right, I'll repeat that one as well. Romans 8, verse 25, and it says, "But if we hope for what we do not see, we wait for it with patience." All right, that's pretty much, once again, exercising our faith. Exercising both our patience and exercising our faith. What is faith? Faith is believing in something that you do not see. Waiting and believing in it. Waiting and believing in something that you do not see. Just know it's going to happen. You just got to keep believing in it. All right? Be patient. God's got you. All right, you guys. Well, like I said, that's it. That's it. That's the last verse. You know, and that's the last verse. It was fun. It was fun kicking it with you guys. I always get a blast. You know, love you guys, man. And then you know, I will jump back on next week around the same time. I want to say 11, 12, you know, Western time. And oh yeah, daytime Western time. If you guys would like to go ahead and watch this all over again so you can get the details as to, you know, amen, bro, amen. You know, talking about patience. You know, go ahead and pick up the details about patience that we already discussed and talked about. Go ahead, rewind, watch this. I also have we're on a series right now. This is the series of fruits of the spirit. Patience is a fruit of the spirit. I got other videos up about you know, the fruit of the spirit. I got a series going on right now. I got more coming. And yeah, we're gonna see where the, you know, where Father takes us, where God takes us. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. If you guys haven't already, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, so you can get more info notifications from your boy that's coming up in the near future. Hey, appreciate you, bro. You already know we coming up. We coming up. We doing our thing out here. You know, we pushing the. I mean, yeah, we got to. You know, we got to. The devil had his little playground in the world. Now it's our turn to swing back, bro. It is our turn to swing back, bro. You know, he thought he, but nah, bro. We cutting those ties. You know, but but yeah. If you guys haven't already, check out my previous other videos. Like, subscribe. Follow me on socials. Check out my YouTube. I got some songs coming out. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got some songs coming out real soon. I'm working on some music right now for y'all too. You know, I'm trying to say, we're getting that going. Getting that going. We coming up in the world for y'all boys, and you know, we're gonna stump on the devil. That boy's that. We're gonna stump on the devil. We're gonna stump on the devil in this season. Stump on the devil. Stomp on the devil. Hey, say it with me. Stomp on the devil. Stomp on the devil. Let me stop. I'm over here getting y'all hype right now. Hey. You already know. You already know. Hey. Excited. Hey. I'm excited too. I'm excited for all of us. You feel me? Like, and the way I see it, I'm the kind of person. The way I see it is, if I win, y'all win too. Especially if I know you, you know, my close peoples. You know, I'm trying to say, like my boy Zach, other folk. You know, if I win, y'all winning. All right, that's how I see it. You know, I ain't greedy. I ain't selfish with it. I'm the kind of person I like to give back to my community, no matter what. So wherever, Father takes me, everybody around me, y'all coming with me, all right? So that's gonna be coming up soon. Next season coming soon. It's gonna be exciting. Be on the lookout for that. Like I said, if you haven't already, support your boy channel. Check me out on there. I got some, some more stuff coming through soon. So, yeah, that's pretty much it, y'all. That's pretty much it. Holla at your boiler. And holla at your boiler. I'll catch y'all next week around the same time. We'll discuss another fruit of the spirit. What will we talk about? I'll leave that as a surprise. I'm playing. Y'all have a great rest of your day, alright? Much love. I love y'all. Alright, my boy Zach. Hey, holla at your wallet, bro.